Welcome to episode 22 of Book Nerd Paradise, where we get to know an author as they tell us one of their favorite quotes, read from their work, pose a trivia question, and give away a book or two. Hi, I'm LRW Lee, author of the Andy Smithson Epic Fantasy Adventure Series. As always, Book One, Flash of the Dragon's Fury, is free for download, the ebook, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Google Play. So if you haven't already, please get a copy. I'm also excited to announce that you can now take Book Nerd Paradise with you this summer. That's right, Book Nerd Paradise is now available on the iTunes podcast store. So look for the channel there. Today, we welcome YA fantasy author Kandi J. Wyatt as our guest. Currently living on the southern Oregon coast, Kandi is a wife, mother of 5, teacher, artist, and author. In her free time, what little of it I can imagine she has with 5 kids, she enjoys writing fantasy stories and drawing with graphite and colored pencils. Portraits are her specialty. Kandi also enjoys photography, thanks to her photographer husband, who's let her join his journey as both his model and apprentice. Occasionally, she says she also serves as his light stand with feet. Oh, that must be lots of fun. Please join me in welcoming Kandi J. Wyatt.
Hello, it's good to be here.
I want to be one of the first to congratulate Kandi today, because today is the release day for her debut YA fantasy novel, Dragon's Future, Book One in the Dragon's Courage series. Really, it must feel really good to finally be publishing that thing. I have to say, I was taken with the cover art for this book. Is that one of your own?
It isn't. It's Amalia Citulescu. She is from Romania. I met her through my publisher. I had a choice of several artists to choose, and I saw her work, and I said, I want her to do my dragon. And she was able to take the image I had in my mind and make it even better. I had actually tried to draw the picture of the character and the dragon, with the dragon spraying the dragon courage, which is the sparkly dust. And mine, I did not get it to be sparkly, and she was able to make it sparkle. So that was awesome.
That's great. I love it when things come together like that, right? So
yes.
Very good. No, I have to say that is what caused me to really reach out to you and invite you on, because I love that cover. It's just amazing. You'll be reading from your novel, Dragon's Future, so that we can get a feel for the book. Would you give us a brief synopsis?
There are 2 twins, Duskia and Ruskia, and they've been chosen to join an elite group of writers, dragon writers. And one day, while Ruskia is in at the general store, he ends up hearing about another writer and from a different colony. He was like, whoa, didn't even know there were other colonies out there. And so he goes undercover to find out, what is this writer after? And realizes that the writer is after some plant, and that plant can either restore the dwindling dragon population, or it can destroy it. And so when the writer and his colony attack, then Duskia and Ruskia have to fight for the dragon's future and their lives.
You've selected a favorite quote. If you would, tell us what that is and then why it's a favorite.
My quote is from Augustine of Hippo, and it says, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page." And it fits along with who I am, because besides being an author now, I'm also a teacher, and I teach Spanish. And so I try to encourage kids to expand their horizons. And living in a very rural area and in a very impoverished section of Oregon, it's really important for kids to see outside of just our little area. And so trying to encourage them to go on. And most people, if you read a book, you're not going to read just one page. You want to go on and read more. And so that's what I try to do with my teaching, is to encourage them to step out.
You're also going to be doing a book giveaway. So what is
Correct.
it that you're giving away?
I'm going to go ahead and give away one ebook, since that's what's coming out for sure today. I've learned with release days, the print copy doesn't necessarily go right as when you want it. So I'm hoping it will be out soon, but the ebook will be. So
Oh, that's awesome. The lucky winner can get a free copy of your ebook. That's great. Okay, so to enter to win, make sure that you leave a comment on YouTube. You can leave anything you want about the show, the good, the bad, the ugly, but anything about it, and that will enter you in the contest to win this free ebook copy. Kandi J. Wyatt. Kandi, you'll be reading from Dragon's Future, as we mentioned. Would you briefly set up the portion you'll be reading from and then share with us?
I am reading from just pretty close to the beginning in chapter 5. Reskia, who's my main character, had gone to the mercantile. He heard about this mysterious writer, and so he and 2 villagers, an herbalist by the name of Carol and a villager by the name of Kyle, have gone out to meet this writer, who has said he will go ahead and let people become writers. And so listening in through a mental link is Glendon, Reskia's trainer, and Ken, his trainee, youngling in the storyline. And so we're picking up right as they are in this canyon, waiting to find out what's going on. The writer had turned to all of them, but addressed Kyle. "Is this all you could find? I thought there would be more eager dragon riders from your village." "I tried, sir," Kyle replied, nervousness causing his voice to crack. "These 2 were the only ones brave enough to challenge traditions." "So, you were brave enough to challenge traditions, huh?" The writer practically sneered the word traditions. "Well, I have several trials for you. Then we will see if you are writer quality." "But, sir," Kyle protested, "I thought by coming out here we would become writers." The man snorted a laugh. "Hardly. You must first prove your worth. Then we will see if you can become a writer." Kyle quelled any further questions. The next several hours were filled with trials. There were mental feats, physical endurance tests, and hunting chores. At times, Reskia thought the writer wanted one of them to fail. He continually assigned more difficult tasks, some nigh into impossible to complete. Tests seemed designed for them to have to work against each other. He found this quite unnerving, since dragons work best when they work together. The riders at Three Spans Canyon had all been trained to work as a team to get their goals accomplished. The few chances he had to work with Carol during the trials amazed him. He had never found a woman with whom he works as well, other than his sister. He realized he was watching her more than Kyle and was hoping she wouldn't fail the tests. When the fog had moved back into the canyon and all light was almost gone from the sky, Kyle whispered to Reskia, "When is he going to decide? If he waits much longer, we won't be able to see it to make it back to Wolprin." Carol heard the remark, for even though Kyle whispered, he was panting, and his voice carried, although the fog dampened all noises around them. "Maybe that is one of the final tests, to see if we can make it back home in inclement weather and low visibility," she suggested in her quiet way. "But no one can see after dark," Kyle protested. "The writer has his dragon, but what about us?" A bright light split the dusk, and the smell of sulfur filled the air. The 3 turned to see the writer standing behind a newly lit torch. His stance bore no disputing. He seemed to be challenging them to come. When they had all turned to look at him and come closer to the blazing torch, he said, "You wonder how to get home. Frankly, I'm surprised any of you made it this far. You and your loudmouths should have died out a long time ago," he said, gesturing to Kyle. He turned to Carol. "And you're a sorry excuse for a hunter. It's only by sheer luck that you were able to track anything at all." Lastly, he turned to Reskia. "And you are so puny, you should have quit at the beginning." Kyle started to make a comeback, but Reskia nudged him in the ribs and stepped forward. "You're right, sir. We shouldn't have made it this far, but we stuck it out. We encouraged each other. We are ready for your last trial." "You think this is the end?" the writer scoffed. "You're more pathetic than I thought." The writer waited for other replies. Carol stepped forward. "You are right. I did not track my best today. I should have done better. Nevertheless, I am what I am." Kyle took the cue and said, "Even my big mouth can learn to be quiet." The writer waited again. This time no one moved. The fog seemed to creep into their bones. Reskia felt the touch on his mind again. His mind felt unclean after the writer moved on to the others. He wondered what it was the writer was searching for. "I admit there is only one more test," the writer said as the sound of large wings beat in the air. "You did bring dragons with you," Carol said with honor voice. No sooner were the words out of her mouth than an enormous turquoise dragon landed at the rider's right side. The dragon's wings were larger than any Ruskia had ever seen, and the light of the torch made them glow in their iridescence. The dragon folded his wings, and Ruskia noticed the dark veins of blue streaking through the dragon. It reminded him of a large turquoise gemstone set into a cloak clasp or on a belt hook. There was something unnerving about this. The dragon landed, and Ruskia had barely taken in all of him when Ruskia felt Wyatt's scream of agony.
So our guest co-authors last week, YA fantasy authors Mary Crockett and Madeline Rosenberg, posed a trivia question for us.
So my question was, what is the average number of dreams that a person over the age of 10 has each night? And the answer, according to a number of sources, is 4 to 6. In the book, we averaged the 4 to 6 to 5, and we had Annabelle calculate how many dreams she had had per night since she was 10 years old until she reached the age of 16.
So my question is about the Texas Grill that appears in Dream Boy. It is based on a real landmark, an old restaurant in Roanoke, Virginia. So my question is, what is the real restaurant that the Texas Grill is based on? And it's based on the Texas Tavern. So, and everything about the Texas Grill pretty much is straight from the actual place in Roanoke.
So Kandi, you have a trivia question for us. What is it?
In C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia, there is a creamy white unicorn, and I want to know what that unicorn's name is. It is the best friend of King Tyrion.
Okay, well, we need our Narnian folks out there to pose a response. I'm sure many people know, but make sure you tune in next episode so that you can either, one, find out for sure, or two, understand what the answer is. So Kandi, any final thoughts you'd like to leave with our listeners?
Well, I want to say thank you very much for letting me be here. It's been an awesome journey. Back in February when I hit that submit button, I didn't think I would come to the point where I would be live on the internet and have a book published. So a challenge to all of you, if you have a book that's out there and you think it's good, go with it, run with it. Find someone who's willing to look into it. I've been very happy with Book Trope, and they actually have open submissions. So if you think you have something that's awesome enough, submit it, see what they do with it. And if you want to find out more, you can find me on Facebook, Kandi J. Wyatt Author, or on my webpage, kandijwyatt.wordpress.com.
Excellent. Thank you for those words, Kandi. Yeah, always an encouragement to potential authors. Very good. So I'm LRW Lee, author of the Andy Smithson Epic Fantasy Adventure series, as I mentioned. You go ahead and download the free ebook of Book One if you haven't done so already.
Click the button to subscribe to the Book Nerd Paradise YouTube channel so you don't miss upcoming authors, giveaways, and answers to trivia questions.
Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next episode.